Welcome to PWS United, a podcast for the Prader-Willi syndrome community, brought to you by PWSA USA. This podcast gives the latest news in research, advocacy, and family support by bringing together staff, volunteers, PWS treatment specialists, biotech and pharmaceutical representatives, caregivers, family members, and individuals with PWS. Our goal is to share education, awareness, and resources with those living with PWS and their supporters. Join us in our mission to enhance the quality of life and empower those affected by Prader-Willi syndrome.
Hey, Carrie. How are you?
Hi, Annie. Good. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Yeah, just full disclosure, everybody, we are recording before the weekend. Usually we record after the weekend, but in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we are off work. So Carrie and I are recording before the weekend. So, Carrie, do you want to tell us where you're going this weekend?
Yes. Part of it too is that I am out of town, taking a very much needed break from the cold winter, just nonstop snow we have in Ohio to go down to Tampa, Florida for the weekend. It was my husband and I's Christmas gift to each other, basically. We're like, let's just do something we love and escape reality for a little bit, go somewhere warm. So that's what we decided to do. I cannot wait. I just hope that our flight actually makes it to Cleveland and out, because we're under a winter storm warning, as always, basically, lately. So yeah, think positive thoughts there, Annie.
I will.
I would love to go.
Yes. Yes, I know. I hope you get to go and be warm. That'd be nice.
Needed. What are you doing?
Nothing exciting. Just, I think my girls have jujitsu, which they're totally loving. And
I wanted to ask how Freya is like faring in it, because the last time you said she did way better than you expected.
Yeah. She is doing fantastic. And, she's comparing herself to her sister, of course, who is honestly amazing. The teacher last night was like, she's a natural. She is like tiny, like she's just not growing for some reason. And I always joke like I should give her some of Freya's growth hormone shots. But she is
the perfect size for jujitsu.
Oh my God, she is a scrapper. She's so fun to watch, and they're already putting her with like
more experienced kids.
Yes, more experienced.
Oh,
I mean,
funny.
And they put Freya with the more experienced kids too, just so she doesn't get hurt. And they're all super sweet, and they explain as they go, and they're very gentle with Freya. And then Rona was with this kid who's like, he's been there for a few years, and in the middle of it, the teacher walked by. He said, "You can go full on." To the kid, because Rona just like was wrapped around him.
Oh my gosh, that was probably a sight to see for you. Were you like cheering, or were you a little nervous?
I'm both. I mean,
okay.
I've seen enough that I'm like, okay, they're not gonna get hurt. But it is like if I was being held down like that, I couldn't. It would make me nuts. So
yeah, that's not made for us, Annie.
No,
we'd run away.
Yeah. So that's really
you got
fun
a scrappy kid. I love it.
I know, it's so funny. And then I've been taking a dance class this is a good one for like the middle-aged moms out there who haven't taken a dance class for 15 years. You can still do it, but it looks different in your 40s than it does in your 20s. Your body moves a little different. I told somebody in the class the other day, I was like, yeah, I was like 25 until a year and a half ago. And then
like, all of a sudden,
my body's
dance
like,
class.
A grand jeté? What is that?
That doesn't sound fun. I don't know what that is.
It feels good to be moving my body as well. I think we get so focused on taking care of our children and their needs. And then we forget, it's kind of the cliche. Like we forget, oh yeah, it's important for me to move too. It's important for me to eat healthy and to have whatever. So I'm trying to bring that back in. So that's
Look at you practicing National Wellness Month.
Yeah.
Actual strategies. I'm so proud.
I love it. Yes, January is National Mental Wellness Month. And all of that is definitely good for my mental health.
So is escaping to sunny states. Yes.
Yes. Oh my God.
We're both living proof you can celebrate and
actually live out National Mental Wellness Month. So
Yeah.
get
Take care
out
of
there,
yourself.
people. Take care of yourself. Yes. I love it.
Um,
Well, let's get into this pulse, Annie. This is volume 115, and it was sent on January 17th. And to start off this pulse, it's actually something that people are going to see pretty much going forward until June. But we started a new section called Countdown to Conference. And every time we share the pulse, we'll have a new little ticker of how many days are left, or how many days to go until conference. So it's nice and big and bright colors that will just get you excited. I can't wait to continue this. So as we count down to the 2025 International PWS Conference, which again is taking place June 24th through 28th, 2025, at the Arizona Grand Resort and Spa in Phoenix, Arizona. Each of our pulses will highlight new details, exciting features, reminders, and more about this once in a lifetime event. So this year's conference really is truly historic. As we've mentioned, it's the first time PWSA USA, the International Prader-Willi Syndrome Organization, and the Foundation for Prader-Willi Research are coming together to host an international PWS conference. And even more special is that it coincides with our 50th anniversary, which is just awesome.
I
We're
know.
so excited
Perfect
about it
timing.
all. It really is. So we have a couple of reminders that we wanted to share with this first piece of this countdown to conference. So we wanted to make sure everyone knows that early bird pricing for conference registrations ends on March 31st. Register now to save $50 on your program registration, whether you're attending the family, clinical and scientific, professional providers, or the adults with PWS half-day program. We also highly recommend booking your stay at the Arizona Grand Resort and Spa as soon as possible. Again, I know we've mentioned this in the past, but days really are filling up incredibly fast. I think Angela, who's our events planner, has us at 90% capacity for the resort throughout the few days that conference is going on. So we will have a link in our show notes to book your stay at the hotel. It's no payment right away, not until you get there, and then you can cancel up to the week before. So if you're planning on coming, we highly encourage you go and book your rooms at minimum. And then one additional reminder is that our PWS and sibling camps are completely full. So registration, though, is still open for the adults with PWS half-day program. And again, that's taking place Thursday, June 26th. And it's only for adults living with PWS to attend. So we will have a link to register to learn more details in our show notes, where you can learn more about the incredible programs and events that we have planned. And we really just can't wait to celebrate this milestone with everybody in Phoenix. One other thing that we wanted to make sure we mentioned is that we are still accepting sponsorships for the 2025 conference. So please join us in creating a brighter future for individuals with PWS by sponsoring this great historic event. For the first time ever, again, PWSA, IPSO, and FPWR will unite to host this extraordinary event, bringing the global PWS community together like never before. Your sponsorship will support access to cutting-edge research and education for the PWS community, help foster connections among families, experts, and advocates, align your brand with a cause that inspires hope and impacts lives worldwide, and so much more. That's really just the tipping point. So to learn more about sponsorship opportunities, you can contact us at development@pwsausa.org, and we'll make sure to have that email in the show notes. And we want to give a special shout out to some of our 2025 conference sponsors. Our diamond sponsor is Aardvark Therapeutics. Our platinum sponsor is Soleno Therapeutics, and our gold sponsor is Acadia Pharmaceuticals. So a big shout out and thank you to them for all of their support. All right, moving on now to our Spotlight on Hope. And this submission says potty training. It's a big milestone and one that is hard for our kids. So in this Spotlight on Hope, Sherry Mills, who is mom to Lyra living with PWS, shares their family's journey with potty training. As her quote implies, it was not a quick or easy journey until it was. Thankfully, with the right services and support, they were able to help Lyra reach this very exciting milestone. So we invite you to check out our latest Spotlight on Hope blog and learn what supports helped Lyra at the link in our show notes. And just a big shout out to Sherry for spotlighting this very important topic that many families struggle with and experience. So we really encourage you to go and read that. And while you're doing that, please submit your own Spotlight on Hope story. It can be any milestone, success, or honestly, just a shout out to your loved one living with PWS. We want to spotlight all of it. So while you're there, go and share a submission.
And we want to see those pictures too. We love
Yes.
seeing the pictures.
Please
the
share pictures.
smiles and the little babies and the big kids doing cool stuff or just smiling. All of it.
Everything, all of it. You want to see it all.
So we moved the announcements up to the top of the pulse. Usually they're at the end, but we moved them up for this week because we wanted to make sure that we reached our families who are affected by the LA fire, because we just wanted to make sure that you all know that we are here to support you. If you need help connecting to resources, or if you want to speak with someone in our family support team for whatever challenges you may be having, we just want to remind you all that we are here to be supportive. And you can reach us at info@pwsausa.org, or you can call 941-312-0400. And we just hope that all of our families are staying safe and out of the danger zone. And we also put a link to our emergency preparedness checklist, which is good for any family who, with a loved one with PWS, who may be experiencing some kind of natural disaster or human disaster. This is a good list to look at ahead of time. It can help you be prepared in case something does happen and you have to evacuate or leave your home, or if there's some kind of crisis. So again, that link will be in the show notes if you want to check out that preparedness checklist.
Definitely, Annie. And again, if there's specific ways that we might be able to help families out who are out there who have been affected, email that info@pwsausa.org. Tell us exactly what's happening, and we will do our best to find different solutions. Again, we have, as I think many people know listening, have just a very knowledgeable team that has a lot of connections as well that we can try to get you connected with. So yeah, please reach out to us. We are here as a resource for you.
Yes. So also under announcements is our resource spotlight. And so this week we chose to spotlight our growth hormone booklet. Growth hormone is a valuable and vital treatment for the management of PWS. Clinical experience suggests that growth hormone treatment can be beneficial for an individual with PWS as early as 2 to 3 months of age. Treatment intended to increase height needs to begin prior to the normal age of puberty, and earlier treatment, often prior to age 2, seems to offer the best opportunity for improvements in body composition and acquisition of motor milestones. So since 2000, the use of growth hormone has become the standard of care for individuals with PWS when prescribed by an experienced endocrinologist. In infants and children with PWS, growth hormone can help with height, weight, body mass, strength, and agility, and also may help with attention and cognitive development. In addition, studies of the use of human growth hormone in adults with PWS have shown positive results in the areas of bone strengthening, improved body composition, including improved lean muscle mass, greater energy and endurance, and modest improvements in cognition. So basically, growth hormone can help in a lot of ways.
So many ways.
So many ways. When Freya was a baby, we had to fight really hard to get her on growth hormone. It was several months, and doctors and letters and meetings and appointments and in San Francisco, and which is 5 hours away. So we fought really hard. It was a really rough year, but we managed to get her first growth hormone dose at 11 and a half months. I was really shooting for that before the 1 year mark.
Right.
And I think we started that process at maybe 4 months or 5 months. Hopefully it's a lot easier for families now.
Right.
But I don't think it always is. But I knew then how valuable it was. And I remember after a week of being on the growth hormone, the first sign I saw was, when you hold a baby up and you kind of hold them up and then they put their feet on the ground and kind of put some weight on it. They start doing that at a young age. Like that's, a couple months in. And Freya was not doing that at 11 months, at 11 and a half months. After a week on growth hormone, I remember watching my husband kind of hold her up like that. And she just her feet hit the ground and she pushed herself off the ground. And we were like, what?
Wow.
Anyway,
What a sight to see and like experience. And that's just living proof, Annie, that growth hormone is so important for this
yeah,
community.
yeah.
Like just those milestones. And we just, again, want to make sure that people know it exists in general, but also its impact. It's
Mm-hmm.
enormous. So
Yeah.
that's
And we
awesome
want
about Freya. I love that personal story.
and we want to make sure that doctors have access to the information, to the right information. So that's why we have this growth hormone booklet. You can download it. We have a link in the show notes. You can download it, read it for yourself, send it to your doctor, make sure they read through it, especially if they are reluctant. Please reach out to PWSA because we are here to help get that growth hormone prescription going. We have other doctors we can talk to. We have connections.
Yeah.
Like Carrie said,
Yeah.
we have connections. But we definitely want to help you if that is what you're choosing to do, and if you're running up against obstacles with getting it prescribed, insurance, your doctor, whatever, reach out to us. We're here to help, and we want to help you. So
Well said. Yes. Okay, on to our events and fundraisers section of the newsletter. So, the first one, and again, something that you're going to hear many times between now and September, is our a little promotion, a little plug for our 50th anniversary celebration Journey of Hope Gala. And that will be taking place on Friday, September 26th at the Ritz-Carlton in St. Louis, Missouri. It's going to be from 6 to 10 p.m. Central Time. And we just invite you to come and celebrate with us for our 50th anniversary. The special event will honor the incredible progress that we've made together while celebrating the people who have shaped our journey over the past 5 decades, which is, again, just amazing. I am so grateful and proud, Annie, that we get to be part of this historic time
absolutely.
and be able to dig into the past a little bit as we've been doing, look at the old gathered views and talk to the people who really shaped this organization. And you'll hear a lot more about that as the year goes on. We're going to be starting a lot more efforts around getting our, 50th milestone out there and making sure that people know exactly where PWSA came from and what our hopes are for the future. And yeah, we want to be around the next 50 years. So lots to look forward to.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for more details just about our 50th in general. And then we will have a registration link and sponsorship opportunities coming soon for this great Journey of Hope Gala. So stay tuned. So Annie, the Rare Aware Art Share was kind of a 2024 push. We did a lot of the submissions and promotion for our 3 themes last year, but we are continuing that on into 2025 because it's our 50th anniversary, and we want to make sure we capture that in a very special way at some of our celebration events this year. So the deadline to submit art for our final 3rd theme is January 31st. That is approaching very quickly. We're excited to display the contributions of your loved ones with PWS at our 50th birthday party at the 2025 International PWS United in Hope Conference in June. So, how can your loved one get involved in this? Ask them to create either a piece of art on the theme, "What is your favorite birthday memory?" or send a happy birthday wish to PWSA USA by making a birthday sign with words or pictures. Take a photo of your loved one's art or a photo of them holding their sign, and then submit that to the Rare Aware Art Share link in our show notes. You can help your loved one's creativity for this theme with the prompts: what do you love about birthdays? What do you like to celebrate? What do birthdays mean to you? We welcome anyone living with PWS to participate in this art share, no matter where you live and regardless of whether or not you will be attending the 2025 conference. We also encourage those who have submitted artwork for Theme 1 and or Theme 2 to submit artwork for this final theme as well. And we also on our social media have a really awesome photo of our coworker Sarah's son holding his version of a happy birthday sign to PWSA. And I just really encourage everyone to go look at it because he's just so precious. Oh my
He
goodness.
really is. I know she sent us 4 pictures of him holding this sign. It was really hard to choose. I was like, oh God, which one's the cutest? They're all so
They're
adorable.
all so cute. I think you picked a good one. He's like sheepishly
Yeah.
smiling at the camera in true Khaled fashion. So Thank you to Sarah and Khaled, as always. They're such good troopers when it comes to this stuff. So all that to say, we will have a link in our show notes to submit your artwork and really encourage you to do so by that 31st date. Moving on now to a very special event that's coming up on March 22nd, 2025. It is the 11th annual Clint Hurdle Hot Stove Dinner. It will be taking place at the Bradenton Country Club. That's where it was held last year as well. And we do now have a link to purchase tickets, to go look at some of the amazing auction items, to buy raffle tickets, coconut golf ball drop tickets, all of the just wonderful different features of this great event that Clint and Carla Hurdle host every year. And we are always just so appreciative of them for doing this and continuing to put their time and effort into this. And Clint is one of our board members. He is our official PWSA spokesperson. He's very well known in the community, in our community, and in the Major League Baseball community. So he has a lot of great connections for awesome sports memorabilia that's signed that goes into those auctions that he puts on with this event. So go check out some of those. I also, Annie, I was browsing through, I guess, the auction items this morning, and I saw that there's a Taylor Swift signed autograph book as one of the auction items. So I was like, I have to make sure I mention that today. I don't know how he got that, but wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Carla, I'm sure she had a hand in that.
Wow, that's awesome. My youngest would flip over that.
Right. That's what I was thinking. This is a hot ticket item. Oh my goodness. So again, just a big thank you to Clint and Carla for all their work. And the money raised for this event goes towards our family support programs and services, which is always so needed. So we will have a link to purchase tickets. And again, look through those auction items, maybe bid on a Taylor Swift autographed book, and the link in our
I'm definitely
going
to do that.
Please do it.
I'm going to do it.
I highly recommend.
And I won't be at the event. So that's like something for people to know.
Yeah.
Like, I won't, because it's in Florida, I'm in California. But yeah, so you can go and bid and you don't have to be there.
Absolutely. And it actually is an in-person and virtual.
Oh,
I'm glad
okay.
you mentioned that, because then I can say you can attend from anywhere in the world because you can buy a virtual ticket as well. And I think there's going to be, for just the virtual attendees, an amazing singer who's been featured at the Grand Ole Opry. So they just go all out. They get the best of the best for this every year. Yeah.
Okay. Well, definitely check that out, because it sounds like there's a lot of options and a lot of ways to participate and enjoy it.
There really is. Yeah. And we'll just continue on the podcast leading up to that date, giving some additional, awesome auction items or, different features of this great event. But yeah, we just love it every year. So can't wait to see your bid, Annie. And our final event and fundraiser spotlight in this pulse is the upcoming Diamonds and Denim event. That is going to be taking place on Saturday, February 1st at Pose on the Hill in Springfield, Illinois. So get ready for a night of delicious food, lively dancing, and exciting entertainment. DJ Chad Burton will keep the energy high throughout the evening. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fun dancing. And I remember that from the Dance Silly for Prader Willie event, and it was just the most fun thing ever. So any event that there's a DJ and dancing for our loved ones and families is just perfect.
I love a good dance party. So does Freya.
Yes. You can explore the silent auction items available for browsing and bidding all night. And don't miss the live auction that will kick off at 8 p.m. Dress to impress in your best diamonds or keep it relaxed in denim. Either way, you're in for a fantastic time. And I just love that dress code, Annie. It's so fun. I can't wait to see the pictures from this. So tickets are $60 a person or $110 per couple. The dinner options include prime rib or cavatappi with Alfredo chicken, and the doors for the event open at 5 p.m. You're also encouraged to bring some cash for 50/50 draws, raffles, and other fun games. So mark your calendar and join us for an evening you will not want to miss, and we'll have a link to purchase those tickets in our show notes. And if you're interested in hosting a PWS Hope United event in your city, you can contact us at hopeunited@pwsausa.org. And we will also have a link to our Hope United webpage in our show notes.
So moving on to advocacy, we have an article about changes at the FDA's Center for Drug Evaluation and Research. So PWSA USA and FPWR would like to take a moment to acknowledge a significant leadership transition at the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, as Dr. Patrizia Cavazzoni steps down as director of the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research, or the CDER. We express our deepest gratitude for her remarkable contributions to the rare disease community. At the same time, we are thrilled to welcome Dr. Jacqueline Corrigan-Curray as the incoming director, bringing renewed hope and optimism to our mission. And there is a lot more to this article, and you can find a link to that in our show notes.
And Annie, Dr. Cavazzoni was the speaker. She was the one who represented the FDA at our externally led patient-focused drug development meeting at our 2023 conference. And she addressed, the entire community that was present there. She was virtual on Zoom, but she was still, live, which was really cool to see. And I actually had the pleasure of meeting her in a couple in-person meetings. And she was always just so inquisitive and really seemed to care about learning as much as she could about the Prader-Willi syndrome community. So our, deepest appreciation goes to her. But we're excited for this next step in the journey and of working with the FDA. I think Dorothea has talked to Jacqueline already, and there's already moving pieces, to getting her to know more about us. So
Okay.
as Dorothea would do,
Exactly. Yeah.
Moving on to family support now, we are starting a very cool new initiative called the Volunteer Spotlight. So, volunteers obviously are a critical part of the work that we do at PWSA USA, and we are incredibly grateful and inspired by the people who step up and offer their time and energy, wisdom, and support to help families and individuals in the PWS community. For 2025, we have created a space to celebrate these amazing volunteers. The first spotlight that we're sharing is on Michelle Torbert. She is mom to Leslie, who's living with PWS. And Michelle has been a dedicated volunteer with PWSA USA for more than 20 years now. She has led the Florida chapter. She has served as board of directors member. She's held the position of board chair for several years and has been a part of numerous committees and work groups at PWSA USA. Her vision and strategic guidance have strengthened our foundation and our outreach. So we want to give just an incredible thank you to Michelle for all of her dedication, her hard work. And this actually was submitted by our CEO, Stacey Ward. She contributed this article, this first spotlight. And it's just a lot of great ways that Michelle has put her heart and soul and energy and efforts into making PWSA USA what it is today. So please go and read that. We'll have a link in our show notes to read the full blog. And then while you're there, we also have a form to submit your own volunteer spotlight. And it can be about anybody in the community you've seen do great work over the years, or you can do a shameless plug for yourself, what you've done. We want to celebrate it all. So
yeah. And we love people owning the work that they do. So don't be shy. It's okay.
Yes.
We want to celebrate you.
Don't be shy. That's the key. So now our Ask Nurse Lynn section. The question submitted this week was about a male who is 19 years old with a deletion subtype. My son is on sertraline, Zoloft specifically, and has been on quite a low dose, under 25 milligrams for quite a while. So in November, they doubled the dose every week. So now he is on 50, one pill in the morning and one at night. The sertraline is to reduce anxiety, perseveration, and to help with difficulty sleeping when he gets stuck. Often over the years, when we put the dose up, we wondered if it was adding to his anxiety and ramping up his behaviors. So we were very slow to increase. Now, having upped the dose quite quickly, he's settled for a week or two and is now ramped up again. It is December, school schedule is all over the map with special activities, etc., but I wonder if we should go up or down. He is hyper prior to doses increasing. He seemed depressed. So, of course, Nurse Lynn had a great response to this, a very helpful answer for this family, and you can read her response at the link in our bio. We encourage everyone listening to go and submit their own non-urgent medical questions to our Ask Nurse Lynn form on our website, and we will, as always, have a link to that in our show notes.
Yes. And just to clarify, if people were wondering when you said it is December, just so you guys know, you get a response before this goes out on social media. Lynn is very quick with her responses within a week or two, unless she's out of town or something. So we get the response to the person that submits it well in advance of when it comes out on social media. Just to clarify.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that, Annie. So, Annie, we have shared over the past year, I would say, many very helpful, very informative, and just inspiring PWS and adulthood blogs articles that were submitted by the community. And we want to grow that. We want to make sure that it continues on and to do it in an easier way. So, new this year, we have created again an easier way to share your experiences caring for your adult loved one with PWS. We want to know, what did the transition into adulthood look like? How is their living situation managed? What supports do they have in place? Do they have successful romantic or platonic relationships? What does it look like to work or volunteer in the community? And more. Really, anything that you want to share. Adults with PWS are invited to share their own story as well. We would love to amplify more voices of individuals living with PWS, so please share this opportunity with your loved one. Whether you're a caregiver, parent, or individual with PWS, we hope that you share your adulthood story with our community to spread knowledge and awareness of PWS in adulthood and celebrate the lives of those adults living with Prader-Willi syndrome. So, to share your PWS and adulthood story, again, we have this great form now set up, a lot easier to navigate through, gives you a lot of prompts to make it, again, just as easy as possible to share. And just like the Spotlight on Hope, we want to see your photos. So, we have a place to share your files as well. And we'll have a link to that in our show notes so you can find it quickly.
So we're going to move into research now. And here, our first part is on the clinical trial journey that I've been sharing about Freya and I going down to LA to do the Pitolisant trial. And this one is called Trial Transitions and Testimonials. And so this kind of looks at how families should manage their expectations in a clinical trial. And this walks us through some of the transition details from the double-blind portion of the trial, which is where my daughter Freya, who's 13, was receiving either the treatment or the placebo. We don't really know. And that's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
And then we transition to the open label extension. So Freya is now knowingly receiving the medication. And so I just was kind of exploring what I've learned so far and the importance of maybe having to shift my expectations, but also really taking into account the success stories that I've heard from other families. And here's a little spoiler alert. I will be talking with some of those families for a future podcast. I think our next podcast. So that'll come out. So I won't go into this too much because I think that's our next podcast episode. But if you're interested in reading this blog, there will be a link to that in the show notes. And then in that blog, there's a link to the other ones that I've written. So if you're interested in learning, just kind of getting an insider's view of what it's like for families in clinical trials, this is just one experience. This is mine and Freya's experience. This is our last pulse call for the abstracts for the clinical and scientific program submissions, and that deadline is January 31st, and there will be a link in the show notes to learn more and how to submit. And so with that, we finished the pulse. And Carrie, do you have a mission moment?
Yes. So I would love to put just a little spotlight on our 50th anniversary committee. We actually had a meeting today, and there's just so much amazing synergy and great ideas, and just this massive amount of teamwork happening to make sure that we're honoring, people throughout this year, and especially at our gala event, that we're basically just celebrating in the best possible way that we can the 50 years of PWSA and all of the, again, people who made this possible and moments that made this possible. So I think just after that meeting today, I felt very inspired and lucky, as I mentioned earlier, lucky to just be a part of this momentous time. So just a shout out to those individuals who are doing a lot of hard work behind the scenes to make sure that this year is very special. That's mine. What about you, Annie?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to give a shout out to Stacy for she's starting this thing. She's calling it Lunch and Learn
Yeah.
for people listening. For me, it's actually like I like to call it coffee talk because it's at 9
Mhm.
a.m. for me. But it's for the staff, and it's just an opportunity for us to come together and to learn more about different aspects of life that we can then bring into our work. So this last one was about having difficult conversations and how to have kind of healthy communication around difficult conversations. And that can apply at family, in your family or at work or, wherever. And so I just really appreciated the opportunity to all meet together and to have that conversation and definitely come away with some insight and some skills that will apply to all parts of my life. So yeah,
For sure.
I'm really excited that we're doing that.
Yeah, me too. I was on that call with you, Annie, and I think that we know that we're very similar, but I think that call we were like, oh my gosh, we're like the same person. Annie and I found out we have a lot in common. So
Yeah.
we are basically address difficult conversations the same way, and we can both learn and grow together. So Stacy recommended that we practice having difficult conversations with each other first, which I loved. I thought that was so funny. So
Yeah.
if anyone has advice for us,
Yeah.
we are taking any feedback.
And there was a suggestion that at a retreat we somehow play a game or do some
Mhm.
kind of activity where we can learn the different ways that we communicate
Right.
on staff so that people know we know how to approach each other differently. So like Stacey said, she wants brutal honesty.
Mhm.
I want honesty, but I don't want brutality.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Same.
So, so just I really appreciate that she is nurturing this work environment of open communication, healthy, respectful communication, and that we're always learning and we're always open to learning. So, yeah.
I love that one. Good pick. Go, Stacy.
Yay. Thank you, Stacey. And with that, Carrie, I hope that you have an amazing time in Florida and that you get there safely and easily and smoothly and that you soak up a lot of vitamin D and enjoy yourself.
Thank you. We certainly will. We're getting there one way or another. I will drive to Florida if I have
It's not
to.
that far. I mean, it's what, 12 hours?
To Tampa, it's probably 20, but I don't care. We'll just spend one day. I'm getting to sunshine. That's all I know. It's
I love
happening.
it. There you go.
All right. Good to see you, Annie.
Yeah, you too. Have a good time.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to this episode of PWS United. If you want to learn more about Prader-Willi syndrome and how PWSA USA is making strides in advocacy, family support, and research, visit www.pwsausa.org. And while you're there, we encourage you to sign up for our Pulse email newsletter to stay informed about the latest news, resources, and events. Don't forget to subscribe to the PWS United podcast so you never miss an episode. Our team is always available to support families and their loved ones living with PWS 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You can call us at 941-312-0400 or email info@pwsausa.org. Catch a new episode next Tuesday, and until then, have a great week.